Let's see here. This is going to be group 1 right here. So make sure, jot it down, group number 1. Right over here, you got you 4 over here, group number 2, jot it down, and you ladies here, group number 3. All right, so make sure you jot that down at the top of your notes for me. All right, you guys are the 3 groups. We're going to do a little midterm review here first that leads into today's topic. Group 1, you're in charge of the midpoint of those 2 sides. Group 2, you got the midpoint of those 2 sides, and group 3, the midpoint of those sides. So we don't waste time here. Let's just quickly go over the midpoint formula together. It'll also be on the midterm quite a bit. Okay, here you go. I'm not even going to ask. I'm not even going to waste time. X1 plus X2, add your X's and divide by 2. Y1 plus Y2 and divide by 2. All right, there's your midpoint formula. So in your groups right now, find the midpoints of your respected sides and jot them down. Here we go. Give you guys a couple minutes. Also going to graph them as well. All right, group 1, you're up. What'd you get for point E? 5. Everyone should have got 5, 7. Make sure you copy it down and let's graph it too and label it point E, 5, 7. Point F? 8, 1. Yep, that's correct. Make sure you jot it down and graph it. All right, let's go to group 2. You guys already had point F done for you, which is 8, 1. What'd you guys get for G? 3, 2. Everyone, point G should be 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And looks like group 3, you're off the hook, but we should have matched, right? E, 5, 7. And G, 3, 2. All right, if maybe you've done this already on your segment, draw in your segment for your group. So whatever group you're in, draw. If you're in group 1, draw an EF only. If you're in group 2, draw an FG. If you're in group 3, draw an EG. All right, I'm going to be with group 3 here and draw an EG. Now notice, take a look. I'm connecting the what of both sides. Those are the what of those sides. I just connected the 6 midpoints. When you connect 2 midpoints in a triangle, when you connect the midpoints of 2 sides in a triangle, and it's already up here, but we call that a mid-segment. All right, when you connect 2 midpoints of 2 sides in a triangle, it is called a mid-segment. And I believe that word is not familiar to you guys. It is not familiar. And I know it's already on your packet, so it's not really a mind bender here, but you learned it in quadrilaterals. All right, so let's review that real quick because I'm sure it's not even close to fresh in your mind. The mid-segment of a trapezoid. So let's label this trapezoid A, B, C, D here for me. And we'll put midpoint G and midpoint F on here and connect them for me. Do you remember any facts about it from last unit? I won't call anybody because I know this is probably not fresh in your mind, but there should have been 2 facts about a mid-segment of a triangle. Spence, anything?
With the mid-segment, where the mid-segment and top segment is equal to the bottom segment.
We got to put it together in the right order, but GF, the length of GF, if we remember, is half of, anybody remember that? The 2 bases, and what do I have to do with them? Add them together. So the mid-segment is equal to half of AB plus DC in a trapezoid. And there was another fact about it. GF was parallel to the other two bases, if you remember, AB and DC. I'm reviewing that with you because when I go back to your triangles mid-segment, it's basically the same rules. It's basically the same rules. Watch. So mid-segment theorem of a triangle. Here you go. Go back to the triangle. I gotta go backwards here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give me a second here. Let me cut this out and bring it to the next page. So I drew in mid-segment GE. You guys don't draw in G. Use your own mid-segment. Everyone's got a mid-segment drawn in the triangle, right? So if I go, ready? Mid-segment GE. It's going to be parallel to my GE is going to be parallel to the third side, the side that's not connected to it. So if you look at GE, group 3 here, what side's not connected to GE? It would be parallel to what side? BC. So a mid-segment in a triangle is parallel to the third side and half its length. Again, don't use BC on mine. Use whatever your third side is, depending on what group you're in. All right? So right now, discuss it in your group what it's parallel to. Discuss it right so we can have it. So EF parallel to this, GF parallel to this. Make sure you guys all have the same thing written down. Because I don't want, if you're not in group 3, you're not going to write GE parallel to BC. And then the second theorem is how long it is. GE, and it works the same as the trapezoid, except I don't have 2 bases, I only have 1. So GE, group 3, ready, is going to be half of, what's the third side again? What's the other side that's not connected to it? BC. So GE is going to be half the length of BC for us. Figure out what it is in your group and make sure everybody matches. So we all right. That's the big one. The parallel one we use from time to time, but the big one is in a mid-segment of a triangle, mid-segment, connect the midpoints, it's equal to half the third side. All right, half the third side. All right, couple practice problems together, then you're going to do the rest in a big group. I'm going to put groups together here because maybe that'll get more talking, all right, than what usually occurs here. All right, so let's look at number 1 together first. So we're going to find the perimeter of a triangle that's formed by connecting the midpoints of the sides. So here we go. Let's do this together, nice and slow. First thing, just put a midpoint on BC where you think the midpoint is. Then put a midpoint on AC for me. Put a midpoint on AC for me. Connect those 2 midpoints in your group. Quickly discuss how long that side is. It's a mid-segment. So if you look back at your facts, it's got to be half the third side. Quickly talk about how long that side is. How long is that side? 12? 5. Half the third side, which is 10. So that's going to be 5. All right, everybody put a midpoint on the side AB now. Everyone put a midpoint on side AB. Please connect it with the midpoint of AC now. Connect it with the midpoint of AC. And quickly discuss in your group how long that side is. Using our rule, using our new rule, it's half the third side. How long is that mid-segment? 7? 7. Answer got me, right? There we go, 7, 7. And then finally, draw in the third mid-segment connecting AB and BC. Quickly discuss how long that one is. Always half the third side, so that mid-segment will have a length of 3. 8. And now I think you guys can find the perimeter of that triangle formed by connecting the midpoints. What do I got? 8, 7, and 5. So we got a perimeter of 20. Questions? All right, let's do another one here together. A little algebra now. A's a midpoint, B's a midpoint, C's a midpoint. Got it. What's the length of VC then? What's the length of VC? Well, first thing I got to figure out is how do these two relate so I can set up an equation. They're not, don't set them equal. Don't set them equal. We just talked. If A and B are midpoints, AB is called a midsegment. So quickly in your group, come up with a correct equation using AB and VW now. AB and VW, they're not equal. We know that. Midsegment is equal to half the third side. Give me a good equation here. Okay, here we go. What equation are we solving? 1. Anna, what's your equation?
6x plus 2 equals 7x minus 3.
Okay, so I'm doubling 3x plus 1. So twice the midsegment is equal to the third side. Some of you may have had 3x plus 1 equals a half of 7x minus 3. That's fine too. Everyone see where we're coming up with this? I'm just doubling the midsegment to get to the third side. All right, we solve it. 6x plus 2 equals 7x minus 3. I'm going to get the 6x over and get x. I'm going to move the negative 3 over and get 5. So x equals 5, but looking for VC. VC. And we know C is a midpoint, remember, in the direction. C is also a midpoint. So can you explain your process to us how you're getting VC out? I know x equals 5. What's next to get VC? Talk to us. Explain. 3. Spence, how do I get VC?
We plug in x to solve.
Where do I plug in x? I got plug it in a couple places.
First, we divide VW in half because VC is half of VW.
So you're taking 7x minus 3 and dividing it by 2?
Yeah.
Got some decimals there?
3.5 minus 1.5.
Okay, and then you're plugging in 5.
Yep.
Okay, I like it. All right, I could also plug in 5 first and then divide by 2. Either order will work. So we have 32 divided by 2, VC 18. No, how about 16? Are we okay setting up that equation? All right, what do I got? On your own, starting here. I even made a little note to myself. All right, here's what we need here. You guys in the back, come join this group. Slide your desks over, hop on a desk, and you guys push your desks together here. One big group, maybe we'll talk a little more. You guys are going 3 through 7. When you think you got all the answers, let me know. I'll come over and check. All right, finish the notes. Let me check all your answers when you're done. I am not checking individual answers. I'm checking once your group is done answers. All right? Once your group is done answers, I'm checking, not individual groups. Some of these are going to get tricky. That's why I got you in big groups to talk. If you're stuck, let me know, but finish the whole notes here through number 7. Finish through number 7. And then call me over when you think you have it.